Hello everyone, hope you're looking forward to the school holidays. Today will be the last lesson for Flowers for Algernon, where we'll be looking at 3 themes that we didn't really cover in class. The themes are prejudice, intelligence, and loneliness. This will be a very short lesson. I'll just be looking at these 3 themes very quickly, very generally. It'll be good for you to have your notebook with you if you want to scribble down some notes, and there'll be a few lines for you to highlight as well in your textbook. Okay, the first thing we are going to look at is prejudice. As you may already have sensed, the entire Flowers for Algernon radio play is centered around prejudice against the mentally handicapped. Everyone around Charlie, excluding Miss Kenyon, is prejudiced against the mentally handicapped, and they show it in various ways. Here are some points to consider. First of all is Joe and Frank's treatment of Charlie. I think this one everyone is already very familiar with, how they bully Charlie and they pick on Charlie, and they don't see Charlie as a normal person, they see him as someone, as a joke to be made fun of. On page 5, you might want to highlight this line where Dr. Nimmer says, "I just don't think he's the right candidate." Dr. Nimmer shows a ton of prejudice against Charlie right from the beginning. Dr. Nimmer has never liked Charlie as a candidate for the experiment, and that's because Charlie is way below normal intellect. Even though his experiment is supposed to help the mentally handicapped, Dr. Nimmer can't overcome his prejudice against people who are mentally handicapped, which is very ironic. Next, on page 27, we have everybody on the factory floor signed it. This is when Mr. Donovan showed Charlie the petition that all his colleagues have signed to get him out of there. Here we see a very deep sense of prejudice by these colleagues. First, when Charlie is stupid, they make fun of him. They play pranks on him, they use him as a joke. When Charlie becomes smarter, they stay away from him, they are afraid of him. They are incredibly prejudiced. Nothing that a mentally handicapped person can do is right. On page 40, the policeman, when Charlie was out in the rain alone, the policeman said, "Come on, it's a simple enough question. Where do you live?" Look at the tone that the policeman used. He doesn't talk to Charlie politely, he doesn't have any patience for Charlie. This policeman is very used to dealing with normal people, people who are not mentally handicapped. It's kind of obvious that Charlie has some mental issues going on where he doesn't remember where he lives, and this policeman cannot understand that. And this guy actually shows the way society as a whole, like normal people like you and me, how we treat mentally handicapped. And finally, on page 43, he looked at me funny like he thought I was crazy. This line is from when Mrs. Flynn recommended a strange doctor to come and see Charlie, and this doctor just laughed at Charlie when Charlie told him that he used to be a genius. Again, here we see society's prejudice against the mentally handicapped. Why doesn't the doctor believe Charlie's story? It's because in his mind, he already sees Charlie as this mentally handicapped, he must be siao one, he must have come up with these stories. So there you have it, just some instances of prejudice that is perpetual throughout this entire play. Next, let's look at the issue of intelligence. Intelligence is a very key theme in this play. Charlie needs intelligence, he becomes intelligent, then he loses it. The question I want to ask all of you is it better to be intelligent? There are instances in the play which show that Charlie's life is better when he is smart, and there are many instances which show that his life became worse when he became intelligent. However, there's someone else whose entire life hinges on him being smarter than other people, and this is Dr. Nimmer. This is what Charlie has to say about him on page 29. That's why it's so important for him to feel that his work is accepted by the world. For Dr. Nimmer, his entire life hinges on his work getting accepted by the world. This means he just wants to be seen as a great scientist. Him and Charlie are no different. Charlie is not normal, he is below average level of intelligence, and he wants to be smarter. Dr. Nimmer is smart, he is a scientist, he is a genius. However, he wants to be seen by his fellow geniuses to be equally as good as them. This pursuit of intelligence can be seen throughout the entire play by these two characters. Next, we see the positive effects of Charlie being intelligent. Miss Kenyon treats Charlie differently, okay? When Charlie was her student, she sees Charlie as someone beneath her, even though she doesn't explicitly say it. She treats Charlie like a child who needs to be given extra attention and who needs to be talked down to. And she doesn't do it out of bad intentions, it's just the way she has to deal with Charlie because of the fact that he's different. However, when Charlie becomes intelligent, you look at the way Miss Kenyon treats him, it's very different. She goes out on dates with him, she has meals with him, she laughs at his jokes. Okay, so being intelligent has its benefits. So from the way Miss Kenyon treats Charlie, we can see. Finally, on page 36, where Dr. Strauss says to Charlie, I think you should at least take the occasional rest. This is when Charlie worked day in, day out to make sure his findings are accurate, to make sure that his work on Dr. Strauss and Dr. Neimer's experiment can be accepted and can be finalized with the right formulas. Here we see the burden of having intelligence. Charlie is extra smart. He's smarter than everyone else. He feels burdened by the responsibility to use this intelligence fruitfully and productively. Being intelligent, is it actually good? That is a central theme to this entire radio play. Finally, I just want to quickly talk about loneliness. There are no sub-points beneath this one. Charlie in the entire play is very lonely. When he was still mentally handicapped, he was alone. The people around him behaved normally. They do not see him as part of them. And you see a lot of scenes where Charlie is just talking to himself. When Charlie becomes intelligent, sure, he goes out on dates with Miss Kenyon, but as his intelligence builds up, he surpasses her and she starts to see him as being too smart. Remember, he tries to ask her out on a date once and she comes up with a lot of excuses. And when Charlie becomes super smart, the people around him start to shun him. They sign a petition to kick him out of the company. When he asks them out for lunch and when he gets a pay raise and he tries to treat them to lunch, they reject him. Throughout the entire play, we see that Charlie is extremely lonely. Why is this the case? Is it because of prejudice or is it because of his supreme intelligence? So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short lesson. If you liked the video, please smash that like button. And as always, I'll see you all when school reopens. Take care and bye bye.